My parents taught me something that I carry with me every single day. And it's that anything worth doing is hard, but there's better on the other side. I've lived long enough to know how true that statement is, that every time that I've pushed through something that felt impossible, every time that I've stayed when leaving would have been easier, there was always better on the other side, every single time. I want my boys to know that. And I've learned that you can't just tell kids something like that. You have to show them. My parents showed me. And so now I have the greatest honor, the greatest opportunity to show my kids that we do hard things in this family, that we push through, and it's who we've decided to be. On April 12th, 2013, Kobe Bryant's kids walked into a locker room and found their father on crutches with a torn Achilles, facing the longest road of his career. And he made the same decision my parents made, the same one that I'm trying to make. This is episode 7 of the Mamba Mentality series, and this one is about resilience. Late in the fourth quarter against the Golden State Warriors, Kobe Bryant had already played through a hyperextended knee earlier in the game. He made a move he said he'd done 1,000,000 times, pushed off his left foot to drive to the baseline. That's when he felt a pop. He looked around thinking someone had kicked him, but nobody was there. And right in that moment, he knew. He limped to the free throw line, sank both shots, walked off the court under his own power. In the locker room after that, he was on crutches, tired, visibly emotional. He talked about the mountain. He said that he wasn't sure if he could do it, that this was a long process. Then his kids walked in, and right at that moment, right when they walked in, something shifted for him. Daddy's going to be fine. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the hard work that it takes to go from here. That's the moment. In the hardest place he had been in front of the people who needed him the most, that's where the resilience happened. The decision made out loud for his kids to hear. Most people know that he came back December 2013, 8 months after the Achilles tear, 6 weeks in a boot before he could even put weight on it. Then the anti-gravity treadmill, a machine that reduces the pressure on your body so the tendon isn't bearing the full load while it's still healing. Backwards walking, partial weight exercises, a whole process designed around one idea. Don't rush it. Because if you do, you're right back at square one. For Kobe Bryant, the man who had to physically be pulled out of the gym to rest, the man who shot 1,300 three-pointers in a day in off seasons, sitting on a treadmill in a pressurized bubble, going slow because the doctor said that's all he could do right now. As he talked about it, he said that it was the hardest thing that he had had to do. And that the hardest part wasn't actually the pain. It was the patience, that there's only so much you can do with a tendon, that it heals on its own timeline and yours does not matter, that the regulator stays on until they say it comes off. And all you can do is wait for that day. And so he waited. He did everything they let him do, showed up every single day to do the work that was available to him, even when it wasn't the work that he wanted to be doing. They cleared him in December. He came back faster than anyone expected. 6 games in, he tore the lateral meniscus in his knee. Another surgery, another boot, another mountain. Kobe Bryant came back from that too. Then he fractured his tibial plateau. Another surgery, another rehab, another long stretch of doing the work nobody sees because that's the only kind available right now. 3 comebacks in 3 years, each one starting from a place where stopping made complete sense, where nobody would have questioned it, where most people, honestly, most people would have stopped. He didn't stop. Resilience isn't toughness. Kobe in that locker room wasn't unaffected. He said he was tired, upset, dejected. He wasn't even sure that he could do it. He felt all of it. He felt all the emotions at that moment. But then he made a decision anyway. That's what this actually is. The decision you make while you're in it. You can be tired and still decide. You can be scared and still move. You can sit in the hardest moment of your career or of your life on a pair of crutches and look at your kids and say, Daddy's gonna be just fine. My parents never told me that hard things wouldn't hurt. What they did tell me is that there was better on the other side. That's a completely different message. It's one that acknowledges the difficulty. It's one that acknowledges the pain, while the other gives you a reason to move through it anyway. Whatever your reason is, find it. Hold on to it, because you cannot push through on toughness alone. At some point, toughness runs out. And what keeps you going is the thing on the other side of the mountain. Kobe's kids walked in and reminded him what his was. So, what's the hard thing that's in front of you right now? Like, actually, for real, what is that thing that's been sitting on your chest? The thing that you wake up thinking about, the situation that hasn't been resolved, the season that hasn't gone the way that you thought it would, or maybe that has gone longer than you expected. And right about now, you might be starting to wonder if it's ever going to break. I know that feeling. I've been there. Most people listening to this have been there. And the hardest part of being in it isn't the difficulty itself. It's not knowing how long it's going to last. You can push through almost anything if you know there's an end, or if you know when that end is coming. The hard part is pushing through when you can't see one yet, or you can't see one at all. There's the hard that's telling you something real, that a direction is wrong, that it might be time to move on, that a chapter is maybe closing. That kind of hard actually deserves to be listened to. And then there's the hard that's just hard. The hard that comes with anything worth doing. The hard that means you're in the middle of something real and the only way out is through. Most people quit in the middle, right when it's the hardest, which is almost always right before something breaks open. They mistake the difficulty for a sign that it's wrong, when really it's just a sign that it's hard. Kobe went through 3 surgeries, 3 rehabs, 3 moments where walking away was the reasonable thing. He didn't walk away. And 3 years after that locker room, on a body that had been through almost everything, he scored 60 points in his last game. Anything worth doing is hard, but there's better on the other side. My parents taught me that growing up, and I've lived it. And the only version of that lesson that actually sticks is the one you live yourself. So what are you going to do with the hard thing that's in front of you? He limped to the free throw line with a torn Achilles, sank both shots, walked off under his own power. 3 years later, he scored 60 points in his last game. The pain was real. The decision was already made. Those 2 things existed at the same time. Resilience isn't a feeling. It's a decision that you keep making, whether it's in the locker room or in rehab or in the quiet moments where nobody's watching and stopping would be so easy. You keep making it until the other side arrives, and it always arrives. My parents gave me that. I'm giving it to my boys right now. And I hope this episode gives something, some of it, to you. Whatever the mountain is in front of you right now, there's better on the other side. Go through. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next one.